Hello. Oh my gosh, I have volume. Hello, hello. I have volume. A little bit of volume. Can anybody hear me? Oh my gosh, so excited. Hi, everybody. Holy crap. I don't know what I did it exactly the same the second time that I did the first time. And I didn't do anything differently. Like this is what's so absurd. So now I have volume and I didn't before. So sorry about that. Hi, everybody. Welcome to my Techo Kaigi. What I did discover is that I cannot have multiple camera angles using just YouTube Studio. I know that this is like how the sausage gets made, nobody cares. But I've spent the last 2 hours trying to figure out how I could toggle back and forth between a top camera and a front facing camera, and that was not going to be happening today. so I would need to actually install some other kinds of software and everything, and that is not something that I have the inclination to do right now. Hello, hi everybody. I'm trying to improve the angle a little bit. I'm sorry if it's a little shaky cam. I will leave it alone for now. I just hate that there's this like weird little gap right here where the table isn't straight. It's gonna make me crazy. I'm gonna lean this way so you guys don't notice. Oh, thank you. I would love extra help in the future. Um, if this goes successfully and folks would like to see more of this kind of nonsense, I would be delighted to do it again. So, yeah, so today my goal is to try to figure out what sort of Techo Kaiji situation I will have for 2026. What a mess. I thought I would start and just talk about like what I used this year and how it worked out to start with. If anybody has any, if you want to put in the comments like what you've been using, what your preference is, and then as I get into the planners that I have purchased or been given or whatever, and you have a particular experience with any of them, please let me know. I would really appreciate it. Um, so I will start talking a little bit about this pile first, which while this book is not the one that I've been using all year, it kind of embodies the spirit of what I have been doing all year, which is a basically just a B6 blank book that I sort of build my own journal. Uh, Laura says she's a heathen because Hobonichi's paper is too thin for her. You write too heavy, Laura. That's the problem. Um, but the So this isn't Hobonichi paper. This is actually like 120 GSM. I had been using Astrology, and I got like there's the Astrology like 365 page kind of editions, and somehow theoretically that should have lasted me all year, but it really only lasts me about 10 months. I think I waste a few pages here and there. I do put in like a monthly calendar, which sort of takes up like 2 pages each month, and anyway, so that kind of makes a big mess. So what I've been using for the last 2 months was just this smaller, paper blanks, which has 120 GSM paper, and it was just blank as well, so I could kind of work it the same way that I have been, which is like I do for the month, I put in my little calendar insert, that is available on the Well Appointed Desk Patreon, in case you're curious. Um, And so I print this out and stick it in, so I have some sort of, like, formal calendar so that if I need to track events, things going on, or I just need to look and see what day something falls on, I have this, um, and then I just do a page a day, and, um, if you've watched any of my other videos, I walk through sort of how I set up my pages at the beginning of each month, which is just really to put in a sticker for the day and a sticker for the date, and then some little decorative elements. And I usually follow a theme. So, like for October, obviously, it was very Halloweeny and owls, and so there were a lot of owls and stuff in my pages. And there are some days where there's just not as much writing that goes on, and I'm okay with that. I guess, um, my husband has been convinced to actually start doing the day one digital calendar, and that has like a digital planner journal thing, and that's really worked for him. This works for me because it can be whatever I need it to be that day. Some days it's more lists of things that I need to do. Some days I completely forget to do anything. Sometimes I'll go back and add if I can remember what I did. And other times I just leave it like, if I had a headache, here, where did the day go? So sometimes I'll print out like what book I've been reading, just stuff like that. I'll tape things in. So like I taped in like books that I had recently purchased or picked up from the library. And just thought that was kind of a nice little add in. So this has been kind of what I've been using for, I think, the last 3 years. The Stology, like I kind of just float. So like I wanted to start in January this year with my planner. And so I used this for the last like October, November, December so that I could start a new planner, whatever it might be, in January, rather than going to another Stology, which would have 365 pages. So if I changed my mind in January, it would kind of like I would be abandoning a whole notebook. So I decided to use this instead. It's just a little bit different experience for me. The binder clips, I just keep on the cover until I need to keep the page open. So, and then about mid-year, I started using the Hobonichi Weeks. I don't think it was mid-year. Maybe it was. Oh no, I did start it in January. I stand corrected. I think about uh, February or March, I started the Gamify system, which changed sort of what I was using this for. Yeah. So in March, I started doing the Gamify, where if you guys are not familiar with the Gamify system, uh, it's basically using uh, components and elements from D&D, video games, that kind of thing, wherever you have sort of role playing thing, where you have different categories that for me, I slot in certain activities to the different categories, and that helps me to try to have a more well balanced life. So, when you think about like, I use dexterity for work, it's always really easy for me to fill lots of tasks in dexterity, but things like wisdom and intelligence, which may be categories that I use for personal hobbies and experiences like that, I don't tend to allow myself as much time for those. So my goal is to be able to spend time in each of the categories. Like charisma is socializing, which as an introvert I don't do a whole lot of. So like I have to force myself to put something in, do things each week so that I can account for like a charisma goal. Strength I use for fitness, and health and that kind of thing. So um, that is what I started using this for, was just to sort of tally up those gamify activities each week. And some weeks I was better at, like this one I didn't even fill it in, but I wrote here I got sick, so that was why it didn't happen. So like there was not a lot going on for that week, and I think again I didn't write it down, but I was making an effort to keep track of what they were. So um, again, like each of my projects is like tends to be hit or miss, but I went through the efforts. Here I tallied, and then instead of having a big long chart, I just had a little list. And part of this was me experimenting and trying to figure out like what's the best way for me to track this stuff. Do I want to take up a whole like square just to do these tracking? Um, or is like then I started to throw them off to the side and track them that way. So yeah, every day is an experiment, isn't it? So that's what I was doing with the weeks, and I think I'd like to continue with my Gamify for 2026, but I don't know if I need a separate planner for it or if it's something that I can add as an additional page or something like that into an existing. And I think I have some ideas with some of the more formal planners that might be a good way to add that in. So the last 2 things that I have been using was I tried to start a book journal this year, and, it was fun to do. I just realized that I read so much so fast, um, that, while it was I really liked doing it, I got way behind, and then it was just intimidating to add anything in. So, this was like a page from 1 month, and I used a color printer to just print out the covers of the books to stick them in here, because most of the books that I have, I get from like the public library or they're on Kindle or some other ebook format. So I don't have a shelf full of books. So for me, this was a way of kind of having that shelf of books that I could look back and be like, oh yeah, I love The Lost Story. That was a great book. Um, and that section in March where I was sick, I read a lot of a lot of manga, just because, I didn't have the brain capacity for much else, but, yeah, so somewhere and, like, I also would, like, get there's, like, a little magazine that I can get at the library that's called Book Page that I would, like, cut out books that I was interested in like, reading at a future point. So, I really liked doing this, I either just need to be better about doing it or find a way to integrate it into my regular planner because I kind of like I bailed out in January, as you can tell. But I kept it up for like the first 7 months, which is actually for me kind of impressive. Usually I bail out of, of some ginormous scheme somewhere like in March. Usually that's when the wheels fall off for me. And then the last one was this little book that I got in San Francisco, I think. They I think it was Pilot was having people try these out, and, like, try out different kinds of paper and give them, like, an opinion poll, and so this has become sort of my just write up notes, like, part of my my effort to digitally declutter, so instead of using a notes app or a voice message or whatever, I've been writing stuff down in this little notebook, and, it's not precious, it's just some place to write something I wanna remember to do later, something I saw, a book I wanna read, that kind of thing. Mostly, like, whatever goes in here then gets transferred to somewhere else, like, maybe it gets added to a calendar, maybe it gets added to a book journal, that kind of thing. So I really like this, and I think I'm gonna keep using this or something similar. This had really great paper similar to Tomoe River, so I don't think Laura will like it, but, um, if you are a fountain pen enthusiast, it's a nice one to use because it is sort of fountain pen friendly. Pretty much. I thought so. I think I did a review on it. It's called the Edit B7 the semi size. What a weird, and it's from Marks Incorporated. So my goal is to eventually carry these in the shop. But when I was going to order them, they scared me with the you're gonna have to pay duties and taxes to bring them into the US. And I was like, oh, how much is that gonna change the price? Um, so I'm waiting until the first of the year to sort of tackle that particular, beast. It's scary to, like, order stuff and deal with that. I keep covering up this is what happens to all my tables. This is an ink stain that will not come off. So, okay, so that's what I've been using. Basically, I have 4 books. I don't know if I need 4 going forward. This one I'm definitely keeping. Um, this is the question becomes, do I blend these together or do I still keep separate notebooks? So you guys want to see what I got? All right, I'll show you what I got. Um, you can laugh. I didn't mean to end up with 4 freaking brand new planners. I'm telling you, it just happens. And I apologize, I left the plastic on these to a certain extent because if I'm not using these, chances are they will become giveaways somewhere. Um, I wanted them to be Patreon giveaways for my patrons, but Patreon is really weird about using the word giveaway because they don't want people to go that way. So we may find a different way to unload these at some point. So anyway, what I have here is the classic Histology B6, which is basically just a blank notebook with graph lines on it. Paper similar to Tomoe River, but it is not Tomoe River. I do not know what it is. Um, it's one of those cases where the company that makes these won't tell anyone what the paper is. So I will take it up. I apologize for the I'm gonna hold it over here so you guys don't have to listen to the plastic wrap. Really not a fan. Um, so while they have teeny tiny, I don't even think you'd be able to see it, really tiny numbers and months and days at the top of the page, I have always just ignored it. And I'll stick a piece of washi tape or something over it because they're so unnoticeable, really, like in the grand scheme of things. That has to be like 4-point type, if that. Um, so yeah. But yeah, so they have numbers down the side that go from 7 a.m. to 23. Um, so like if you wanted to do like hourly activities, you could. Yeah, those little tiny dates are just they're I don't even I appreciate that they do it. I just have no use for them. There is nothing else in this book. Every page looks like that. The pages aren't even numbered or anything. So from that standpoint, I think a lot of people have they're like, oh, well, other books will actually have page numbers and an index in the front. So if you wanted to just use it as a notebook, or a bullet journal or something, you could do that. I just really like the paper and I like how light their grid is. It is almost like when you're just looking at one sheet of paper, it almost disappears. So it's just enough to keep me from going off going sideways. But not so much that I can't use like a really light ink or a really fine nib and have it distracting. So this is why I fell in love with Stologies. Also, it's B6, which is my favorite size. So if you look here, you'll see I have two B6s, a Hobonichi Weeks, and then this last one is from Sterling Ink, and it is basically the same size as Traveler's Notebook. So I'm going to set this one aside. This was sort of like my original default solution, which was just do the same sort of blank notebook kind of treatment that I have done in the past. So we're going to put this over here for now. Um, so I'm going to do the magnet. This one is from, we joked in the Patreon meetup on Sunday. Oh God, I hate the plastic. Sorry. That the branding on this is really, really subtle, which is great if you know where the branding is. But if you don't, it's real easy to be like, where did this come from? Is the company called Magnet? It is from Aura Estelle. I did a review on the blog about the paper stock that they were using, which is, again, it's not Tomoe River 52 GSM this time. It is something else, but I think it's also from the same company that does Tomoe River. As many of the companies that are making these types of planners are using, because it does say it was made in Japan. Um, so this is, like I said, it's from Aura Estelle. We finally found the information about the company. It's right there, Aura Estelle. This is their B6 Daily. And I really like this little detail on the front where it says structure level is just above medium high, and discipline level, like how often do you need to write in it, is kind of high. So I would love to see this for like all of their different planners and stuff to just see like how organized or disorganized you might be or how frequently you want to write in your planner. That might help make a determination about which one do you want to use. So this one is a January through December. It has a yearly calendar, a yearly overview, uh, 2 pages for yearly goals. This is where I start to be like, I'm not that organized. And then each month it has a 2-page monthly calendar, which I print out and make my own for Patreon. So that's not a thing I really need or want. But then they also have 2 pages for monthly trackers, which I thought was really cool. Um, and then 2 blank pages following the monthly calendar, and then a weekly page, which would eliminate the need for having a separate weeks to track like my Gamify. And then it has a 7 page a day pages. So, and then in the back, there's 40 blank pages. So I'll flip through this really quick just to see. I'm not sure that I can zoom in, so I will hold it up as needed. They do provide like a little guide to explain sort of different methods that you can use for organizing information and things like that. But I've had some time to think about this because when it arrived, I was like, I'm not sure that this is really for me. So you have your classic calendar, just sort of an overview calendar. And then one set up like this, which I know a lot of people are like, "What do you do with this kind of thing?" But it has like 1 through 31 down the side, and then the so some people use it as a tracker, like if there's something you wanna do every day and you just wanna account for it. Some people use this for, like, vacations and holidays. Um, I haven't quite figured out what I would use this for. Does anybody else use a yearly overview, and what do you do with it if you do? And then there's the goal page, which it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it gives you 12 goals. So you can either come up with like your goal for each month or um, if you want to have 12 different goals and just or however many goals. So again, this goes back to the like what did it say on here? Discipline level high, structure levels pretty high. Um, so if you like that kind of thing that helps you organize. So this is the monthly tracker page, which I thought was kind of interesting because there's a couple things that I'm doing right now that I would like to track, just have a visual tracker for. I've been doing French lessons on Duolingo, and it tracks within the app, like if you're on a streak or whatever. But I liked the idea of just having that colored dot that's like, yes, I did my French lessons today. And then also I try to exercise every day, and so I would like to sort of force myself. There's other stuff that I do too, but I don't necessarily need like a tracker for everything. Um, so oh, did I passed the monthly calendar, I'm sorry. So they do have the at the beginning of each month, your just standard calendar kind of thing. Um, but it doesn't have goofball holidays like the ones that I make. I mean, we all want to know what World Pancake Day is, right? Um, so, and then there's two blank pages, which I guess if you wanted to use these like as um, like a reflection, random notes, things that you wanted to do for the month, that you could just put it at the beginning. And then here is the weekly calendar. So this basically to me looks like what's in the weeks, but just sort of compacted a little bit. But honestly, it's not much. I mean, it's essentially the same size as a week's. So um, yeah, and then you just have your page a day, which I think is kind of cool. So, and then they're color coded along the spine to find your month. Although mine get pretty bulky, it's pretty easy to find when it stops being bulky. So it's like that for each one. So you have your monthly calendar, your habit tracker, two blank pages, then your weekly, and then it looks like you get your 7 days, and then your next weekly. So that's the Aura Estelle. The paper quality was good when I tested it, very similar to Smoey River. It's very light. The book's not terribly thick when I compare it to the Stology. Because there's more content, it's a little bit bigger, but not terrible. Um, so that's the Aura Estelle. We've all seen Hobonichi, but I'll pull this out just for comparison's sake. This year I grabbed the tinier one. Last year I got the mega, but I bought the mega only because it was green. I confess, it was the only one that they had left. They didn't have any of the regular size ones. So honestly, the back half of this has just been like I could probably make up my own calendar for a weekly calendar for a year and just use the back half of this one because I mean, it had like 100 pages in the back. So, but anyway, standard Hobonichi Techo. Um, I don't even remember if, yeah, I guess that they're all the same, right? You have your monthly calendars at the beginning, which I seldom use because of the way that I use the system, and then you have your page week on a page with a facing page. So that is it. And then this one just has maybe like 40 or 50 pages in the back, um, to use. I've been told that the paper is better this year than last year. The one that I used, the paper was pretty good. But I would have an occasional page where ink would really spread or feather. So and it wasn't every page, so it was definitely like whatever finishing that they put on the Hobonichi paper, Tomoe River paper, it just wasn't consistent. Um, like it was they weren't applying it evenly. I do really like this cover with the little dots. And there's like you can't really see it, but then it says 2026 really lightly. So the last one that I have is the sterling ink, and it's really pretty. I just when I ordered it, I didn't realize it was going to not be like week sized. I got the N1H compact full year common planer from Sterling Ink. So I didn't know that that meant it was the same size as a traveler's notebook. But this one has the gold foil edges and this like lovely sort of flannel textured material. It's not doesn't feel like flannel. It feels um, like coated paper with a texture, but it looks like a gray flannel suit, which I think is very cool. And then the gold foil edges. Now this one is set up more like a Hobonichi Weeks. Um, it has the oh, this has a goal breakdown by someday, 1 year, half year, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily. It's a little crazy. It has that same yearly tracker. Um, quarter one is what this says. Priorities for January, February, March, and then it has like I guess you can this is a little more organized than I am. I'm sorry. I'm not this like I think if you forced me to be this structured, I would revolt and immediately not do anything that I feel it needs. So it has all 4 quarters. So if you're super organized, which I am not, um, that would probably be super helpful. I have to say, the typeface is really tiny, but it is like a beautiful either Futura or um, Gotham or something like that. It's just lovely. It's a beautiful typesetting. I will give props to the designer. And then they have your standard um, month on 2 pages. I mean, the advantage here is it is a bit bigger than a week's, which I think would be advantageous to some people. Um, you know, they like the portability of the weeks, but maybe it's just a tiny bit too small. This does have more room where you could really take advantage of these pages. Um, and then once you go through all 12 months, oh, and it does include January for next year, 2027. Isn't that a horrifying thought to think about? 2027. And then you have your, 7 days on the left and then a blank page on the right. Um, and again, freaking beautiful typesetting. Nicely done, people. Nicely done. But again, this is very similar. I'm not sure if this one specifically is Tomoe River, but it is that very thin, lightweight paper, which is great. Makes it super portable. But if you write with a heavy hand, that's obviously going to be a problem. Uh, you're going to need a pencil board. And then in the back, they have a bunch of blank pages. Um, so it's quite a bit of blank pages. Okay, here we go. Oh, I did 1 page of testing. So I tested the paper on this one at some point, and I used the first page just to see. So this is all fountain pens. And there's a little show through, but not too bad. And then yeah, so this is all the blank pages, and then this is the planner portion. So sometimes I wish they would just make it with like 5 or 6 pages in the back so that you could have just like a really thin little notebook. You don't, like just as many to hit your signature and then that's it. We don't need all the blank pages. Just because most of us have so many other notebooks. Like worst case scenario, you just need a really quick place to write like a phone number, it's the only piece of paper you have handy. But I don't know a lot of people who really utilize all those blank pages in the back, but maybe it's just me. I mean, somebody else might use it. If you do, please tell me. And it did come with this like little paper thing that has a calendar on it. I think it's just a little pretty something. So that's what I've got. And so the more that I think about this, the more that I think, as much as I poo-pooed the Aura Estelle originally, it it might be the right choice. What do you guys think? Because it would allow me to combine the gamify stuff with the page on a week, like the weekly pages at a glance. Um, so like that, or I stick with a two book system like this. I think that's so I have to decide. Let's see. Scathingly brilliant idea says I got the horizontal A5 core this year for work, and the transition from month to overview to weekly is driving me nuts. I plan to glue the calendar over it to cover it up. I could see that. And I was actually thinking like if I were to use this one, I would probably just glue my calendar pages in just because they're more fun. Um, let's see where because they do have it set up so that the calendar is at the beginning of each month, right? Yeah. So the like monthly overview is here. But, like I could just slide this in. Besides, these are very like unadorned. These are very plain. My books, not so much. Oh, yes. I would not be surprised. I've questioned whether or not some of these were using like View Corona or some of the other ones. But yeah, so I don't know. This is the only thing that really holds me back from using this one is that like I want my pretty calendar. So I mean, not that it's like a thousand times more interesting, but um, I don't know. My little and then so when I do these, I also provide a space for sort of those like extra notes, things that like, you know, what I need to do that month, that kind of thing. So, and this one already has the sort of two blank pages in here. This is just going to totally make a mess of my life. I don't know. So, I think the bottom line at this point is that I am probably not going to use the um, common planner as much as I think it's beautiful and the typography is uh, like chef's kiss. Um, I think that this one is but I did use one page to test, so, like, I'm not sure that, like, this is legitimate candidate for, like, a giveaway, because nobody wants my handwriting in their book, right? So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Oh, Wonderland. Oh, yeah, Wonderland 222, I think they're using I know it's not well, it might be View Corona. I did talk to the owner of the company at one point, and I really oh, thank you. Um, my nail color, which I did actually make an effort to paint my nails before I did this because I had super chippy nails beforehand. It's called Psht. I forget what company it's from. I've had it for years. I'm surprised it's not like completely like plumpy and gross, but I figured it was sort of holiday-esque. Um, it's true. Like scathingly brilliant idea said that she didn't think anybody would be disinclined for this because these are basically not available anymore, like, they're sold out. I don't know that they won't have more in stock at some point, um, but yeah. So, I might just go ahead and put this up on the blog when we get done. Oh, Nancy, hi. Um, I might just go ahead and put it up on the blog if anyone is interested in it. Maybe we'll just do a giveaway that way. That seems like the easiest thing to do. Um, but yeah, so, I don't know. Anybody have any questions or anything else they wanna see? Um, it's It's always interesting to see, like I don't know what to do. I think I think if I go with the magnet, the Aura Estelle, I might also like, the fact that I have the 2 pages at the beginning of each month could become where I keep sort of track of the books that I'm reading, or that I could put that'd be so funny to put it in the tracker, see how fast I read books. It's not good, it's not good, it's not healthy, but yeah, so, I still feel like I have not made a decision. What do you guys think? Votes for the magnet, for the Aura Estelle, or votes for the, same stuff, different year? I'm trying not to swear. I'm not doing a very good job of it. Um, it's trying to decide. Um, I mean, all of them will have good paper, all of them will be good quality. But if I decide to go with the Aura Stell, then I will also put the weeks up for grabs as well. So if you try the and you can always use it for something else if the paper's good. Yeah, I think so. I mean, like I said, the paper in the Aura Estelle is very similar to Tomoe River at some variation. I know a lot of these smaller companies like Sterling Ink, Wonderland 222, or Estelle have all been looking for alternatives or slightly different versions. Wonderland 222 I still think has a bunch of their older just printed notebooks that still have the original, I'm air quoting, 52 GSM Tomoe River, and you can sort on their website by, year of release, and so up until 2026, Wonderland 222 was using they, like, bought a ton of paper, from Tomoe River to sort of protect against that. That's a good idea. Laura suggests that I try the Orastelle for a month and see how it goes. It's also a good experiment to me to figure out how to redo the calendar, um, the way that I do my monthly calendar. Um, because I'm like, my thought is that I could tip my calendar in where this calendar is, and then maybe like turn these pages into sort of like mood boards and just sort of cover them in artwork and stickers and stuff like that. Because I'm like I want to do my own thing. Although this is going to get so bulky, because in comparison, like this is like Astrology 365 is like about 2/3 the thickness. But when I get done with them, they look like this. So imagine how chonky that 2026 Aura Estelle is going to get. Yeah. So this used to be this. It got real pudgy. So this was the one that I used through September of this year. Um, and like these little paste in like Leuchtturm pen holders, like this one got used so much it like lost its stick to itiveness. But yeah, so fun. I much isn't it more fun to look at them when once they have stuff in them? I much prefer these. Like I love the idea that, like, I would want to get a plain one so that I can fill it with things that I want, but, like, looking at these, like, blank are so boring. I mean, I know that's why they're supposed to be so that we can make them beautiful, but okay. Alright, you guys have convinced me. I'm going to go Aura Estelle and try this out. I am going to, give me 15 minutes or so, and I will put these 2 up for grabs. Y'all will be the first to know about them. So it is the Sterling Ink N1H Compact and a black Hobonichi Weeks. And I did it. Is this the one that I didn't write in this one? I don't think, did I? I just wrote in the, yeah, this one doesn't have anything in it. I literally just took it out of the plastic now, but this one has the one page that I wrote in. So I will put these 2 up for grabs. And I might have an extra Stology to put up as well because I squirrel these away like someone who thinks that they're gonna go out of style. So, guys, this was fun. I have never done a live before. I know there's only just a handful of people who tuned in, but this was kind of a good experience for me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I kept you company while you ate your lunch or had your mid-morning coffee. Um, I will try to do some more of these in the future. Does anybody have any other questions, comments, concerns? I will get these listed by okay, it's 12:46 here, so probably by about 1:15 my time, which if you're on the East Coast would be 2:15. West Coast 11:15, something like that. Um, so you're welcome. Thanks guys for coming. Um, so yeah, I will make these available and then it will force me because I will have given these away. So I will have to stick to what I've said here today. I'm using this one. Y'all get these. Um, so, oh, Nancy said she wanted to come to the KC Craft Show a couple weeks ago, but I was sick. It's okay. Apparently, it was going around because somebody gave it to my husband while he was there, and he was down all week. It was so bad. So you dodged getting even sicker. So, okay. Well, thank you guys so much. This was really fun. I will save this. Hopefully, like I'll figure out how to save a stream. And maybe not make a mess next time. And maybe figure out how to use both cameras. Cause I even put makeup on. You guys can't tell, but like I got dressed, I put makeup on, I have pants on. I did this for you. I love you. Thanks for coming, guys. It's been great fun. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.